I'm talking about procrastination today. My topic is procrastination, and I think we'll keep it very simple from a coaching standpoint, from a counseling standpoint, and from a personal standpoint. We look at it from a conceptual point. We look at it from a coaching point. Well, and let's do it from our perspective, which means, do we have a goal that we say we want to achieve, and it's been months and years and years and years that that goal is not achieved? For example, weight loss, for example, that house, for example, a travel plan, for example, a new ambition, something like that. Do we have a goal which we say, I want to learn guitar, I want to learn a new language, and 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 this goal is a goal, and it's been 3 years, it's still a goal. So we're looking at taking something and having a block, having a resistance within, which doesn't let us do that or get to that. Before even I get to the point of resistance, I want to know, my question in coaching would be, whose goal is this? Why is this your goal? What about this goal has attracted you to get into this? I would ask, where did you hear about this goal? Why is this goal your goal? And sometimes we may be curious to know, why did they take that? Did they take it because their fathers told them? Did they take it because they heard it on television? Did they take it because one of their competitor is doing that, therefore they want to do it? Sometimes we buy a book because we see it in the hands of someone we admire. We buy the book, but we never read the book. The book is on the shelf. It's never for ourselves. So you know what I mean? We took it because we didn't want to read it. We took it because somebody else was reading it. Um, when when one of my teachers, Dick McHugh, he was talking about procrastination many, many years ago when he was alive, what he said is, this client that he was working with learned to learned to procrastinate at an early age as a strategy to keep her over demanding mother at side. She had an over demanding mother who will constantly say, do this, 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 do this. And no matter what she does, the mother isn't happy. So she initially tried saying, no, I can't do this. No, it's not my goal. I don't want to do this. But she realized that the more she said this, the more it disappointed the mother. So she said the best thing to do is to say yes and not do it, because that at least gives me the mother's love. So we're looking at strategies. We are looking at unconscious strategies. We are looking at positive intention. We are looking at, does the procrastination at a behavioral standpoint, yeah, not as a diagnostic tool, but as a behavioral standpoint, does procrastination uh, have an outcome for the client which is useful to the client? So you get the first question. My first question is, why is this your goal? Tell me, from where did you get inspired about the goal? Or whose goal is this? Or whom do you want to achieve this goal? That's my first type of question. My second type of question is, does it have a game? Does it have a positive intention? Does it have an unconscious strategy? And is this a part of your conscious strategy to live through life? Do you keep taking more on plate because you're afraid you might miss out? Do you keep adding more to the plate which you don't eat? Do you keep filling your shelf with books, suitcases with things? Do you keep filling that? So that is one curious question that you ask. Are you with me, guys? Are you with me? Say something. Okay. Okay. So these are my two initial questions that I use to have a rapport building with the client. Yeah. And we'll talk about these questions. We'll get curious about these questions. We'll engage with these questions. And in these two questions, the client doesn't feel the resistance. The client feels I'm with them. I'm supporting their procrastination. And then while they say this, we are listening to five things. One, they procrastinate. Sometimes they genuinely want to do it. Sometimes they genuinely want to do it. Like who doesn't want to lose a weight? Who doesn't want to read that book? Who doesn't want to buy the 8 bedroom hall kitchen? Who doesn't want to go on a 100-day vacation every year? Sometimes they genuinely want to do this. Sometimes they genuinely want to do this. Now my curiosity is, hey, what's stopping you? And sometimes what is stopping them is this such a huge project. They feel that even if I start losing weight today, by the time I see a result, it's going to be 1 year. That's a long journey. I'll start tomorrow. So I'll start tomorrow. It's a big journey. Even if I start investing money, by the time I see the $20 million, it's going to be 5 years or 20 years. So they say, well, putting it down for tomorrow or day after tomorrow may not make a big difference. So one of the reasons why people procrastinate is because it's too big. The goal is so big, very big goal. You get that? When you meet a big goal, so now we're trying to elicit and find out why people procrastinate. That's my third step, right? In my third step, this is my first reason why people procrastinate. They procrastinate because the goal is too big. The second reason why people procrastinate is because the goal is too small, too small. Imagine I hire an engineer in my office and I tell the engineer, you know what? These are some papers, photocopy them and give it to me. He will say, well, I'm a damn engineer and he wants me to photocopy this. So maybe on day one, he photocopies and keeps it on my table. On day two, I'm telling him, you know what? Photocopy this again and get it to me and do it every Thursday. And he'll say yes to get me off his back. But then at the mind, he's feeling that, damn it, I'm an engineer. And here's someone giving me a stupid, insignificant, meaningless job. It doesn't, it doesn't align with me. Sometimes people procrastinate because it is infinitely small, it's insignificant, and it's below them. It's below them. So there are goals that we say yes to because we can't disappoint the boss, the father, the teacher, the prime minister sometimes, the government sometimes. We can't do that. So we say yes, then it's way below us. So we say, yeah, I'll do it. To renew my license, I know I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I still have 2 days. I'll do it tomorrow. It's too small, too small. Yeah, makes sense. Are you able to connect to some of the times when we procrastinate because it's too big and some of the times we procrastinate because it's too small? Now, let's look at the first why people procrastinate. It's because it's too big. What do you do when the goal is too big? We break it down into small pieces. We break it down into how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Yeah. How do you deal with something so big? You break it down into 1,000 parts. When you break it down into 1,000 parts, you can see, well, I don't need to do all. I can delegate some. I can delete some. I can decide some later on, and I can do some. It becomes achievable. A big chunk cannot be eaten. So I break it down into small pieces. This is provided the client really wants to do. How do you reach here? You reach here after you check the first two questions. What are the first two questions? Whose goals are these and what is stopping you? Once you cross these two levels, then you help them achieve this. But if you don't cross these two levels, even if you support your clients to achieve it, there's still a block. So you reach here only after you sort the first two. Yeah. So if it's a big goal, what do? You break it down into 1,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces, 100 pieces. And then you do it. Delegate it. Delete some. Decide what to do later on. So you D. You delete some, you do some, you delegate some, and you hold on to some because you got to decide whether I should I delegate? I keep it outside. What do you do with a small goal? What do you do with a small goal? What do you do with the engineer who was hired and told to take photocopy? What do you do with this guy? You don't give him that goal. And even if he takes it, he better delegate it. You got to find out if it's important. And if it's important, it needs to be delegated. Not everything that needs to be done, you need to do. Find out if it can be delegated. That's the art of moving from micromanagement. People get tired because they micromanage. Micromanaging is doing the small things. And when you do the small things, You don't have time at your hand, and doing the small things will suck you. Doing the small things will procrastinate you. You'll step into procrastination because they're so small, they're so boring, they're so consuming. So if something really needs to be done, if something is below you, and if it still needs to be done, find a way to delegate it. Delegation with supervision, not just delegation. Delegation with why delegations fail? Because we delegate without performance indicators. We delegate without KPIs and KRAs. We delegate without supervision. It's a screw up. Delegate with supervision. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? That's the first two reasons why people procrastinate, right? First, it's too big. Second, it's too small. There's a third reason why people procrastinate. People procrastinate because they don't want to do it. That's the first one. They'll take it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. But they can't say no. Maybe because they don't know how to say no, because they know if I say no, it will offend the other person. So they do not want to do it, but they want to hold it. They want to hold it. They want to hold it. So what do you do in such case? You teach them assertive communication by setting clear boundaries, self-care, empathy, compassion. You teach them assertive communication, self-care, empathy, boundary. That's what you do. There's a fourth reason why people procrastinate. That is attitude problem. You hire some guys on the job and they don't want to do it. Why do you don't want to do it? Because they are on loggerheads with you, because they hate you, because they have a conflict with you. So they're like, I will not do it. Why? Because he said it. Well, somebody else saying I will do it, but because they said it, I don't want to do it. This is procrastination because of attitude. Here, there's an attitude problem. Sometimes we don't want to do it because this teacher told me to do it. If the other teacher would have told it, I would have done it. But this teacher, oh, I hate her. Oh, I hate him. So procrastinating because of attitude. That is passive aggressive. That comes under the segment of passive aggressive attitude issue. What do you do with them? Well, they need counseling. They need training. They need communication. They need to be spoken about. They need help because they're being passive aggressive in their nature. Then there's a last category of people procrastinate, which is I will not do it. I will not do it. But it goes to a next level. It should not be done. Not only I will not do it, it should not be done. See, this is a belief issue. The previous one was an attitude issue. This is a belief issue. What is a belief issue? A belief issue is something that is core divided into us. It's a conflict issue. Maybe I work in a company which is against my values, but I'm working there because they give me good money, but I don't like what they're doing, hate what they're doing, but I'm working there for the money. So I have a belief clash. It's a hiring that went wrong. It's the HR issue. But in a case like this, where beliefs do not align, no matter what you do, it will be difficult because you don't correct beliefs unless they want to change beliefs. But if you meet someone who conflicts with you because you say something and they say it should not be done, I will not only will I not do it, but even you should not do it. It's a belief issue. And belief issues are dangerous. Then there's another issue. People procrastinate. That is skill issue. I want to do it, but I don't know how to do it. I want to play a guitar, but I don't know how to play a guitar. I really want to create a dashboard, but I don't know how to create a dashboard. You know what? I want to write this book, but I don't know how to use AI. I don't know how to work with this writer. I don't know how to work with. It's a skill issue. Skill issue. Skill issue. So there's a skill issue. There's a will issue. There's an attitude issue. Yeah. It's a big problem issue. There's a choice issue. I don't want to do it. There's a choice issue. I don't want to do it. There's a, it's not my level of things to do. It's a below me issue. Does that make sense? These are very quick elicitations, very quick understanding of why people procrastinate. Well, I don't want to use the word procrastination because it's a noun. I would like to use the verb, It's a reason why people do not get things done. It's a reason why people do not act on it, or people do not step into execution. So even before I start my coaching with my client, my first step is to convert whatever they're bringing to the field into action. I will nominalize what they denominalize. Like they'll say, I have a procrastination issue. Will you work with me, Anil? And I'll say, what the hell is procrastination? I don't know. I remember a client coming and saying, Anil, I think I'm going through depression. I said, I don't know what's depression. I don't know what's depression. He got very angry with me that I didn't know the word depression. But then we got him to say what depression is according to him. He says, I don't feel like talking to anybody these days. Great. We got a verb. I don't feel like talking. It's a verb that comes from the client's perspective. It's not something that I give the client. So when they say procrastination, I want to know what is procrastination according to them in the terms of verb. What's the verb form do you call as procrastination? And I really want to know. So great, don't do, I tell them, why you want to do it. Now they give me the reason of whose goal it is. Instead of asking them whose goal it is, I would play with them. And I would say, excellent choice, don't do it. They say, no, but you know what? If I don't say that I want, I'll get my mother pissed off, I'll get my father pissed off, I'll get my boss pissed off. So we get it out from their mouth. Step one, the verb form. Step two, the reason why they're doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, is it a conscious strategy? Or are you doing it unconsciously? We try to separate the conscious and the unconscious. And then we'll figure out. And if you had to do it, what is stopping you? You had to do it. We're putting a question in the continuous future tense. If you had to do it, what is it's too damn big. It's fucking small. They'll say, well, I don't know how to do it. They'll say, well, I don't want to do it. This is where the five answers will come. You got to listen carefully. But before even you start working with them, it's very important for you to understand whether they want to work with. So you eliminate the initial choice point. You walk with them by creating the sense of safety, belongingness, and psychological safety so that they can explore their life and world in front of you and make mistakes, knowing that their mistakes will not be judged, knowing that it's safe to make those decisions. That makes sense, guys. So that's a quick thing to really to also, instead of procrastination, sometimes the word that the client brings to us in the field is it's too intimidating. What they're saying is the same thing. I don't want to do it because everything that comes in way of not doing it. I don't want to do it because it's overwhelming. What they're saying is it's too big. I don't want to do it because it's time consuming and stupid. What they're saying is it's too small. Sometimes our clients may not use the linguistic patterns of nomenclature or delayed gratification. Sometimes they may directly come to the five steps, but it's for you to know. Do you start working with them in those paradigms? When you look at it from a psychological standpoint, you'll realize a case that I was working with is about a lady who went through a loss, a grief, and a death of her husband, whom she loved really well. She was very young. And now she's not wanting to get married. Well, she knows it's the obvious next step. She was only 38. And she knows she has to get married, but she's not willing to get married. Not because it's too big, not because now the hurt, the grief is not complete. So we also have a psychological layer to this. And in her case, that layer was enmeshed with her losing her father when she was only 10 years old. So it was like a re-imprinting and a reaffirmation. The men she likes will be taken away from her. So it was a belief issue. It was a deep-rooted psychological imprint. And when you look at it from that standpoint, you'll realize that procrastination is not just the surface level. There are deeper layers and enmeshment to that.